Attention, please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
He gets killed in a way trying to save the baby. The Mandalorian's like, oh, I'll avenge you, and then walk away.
Well, don't sound too excited. Yeah. Welcome to Mandalorian, the newest show in the Nerd On family, where we talk about the Disney Plus TV show Mandalorian. I'm Corey.
Ollie.
And I'm Tom. And this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Nerd On Nation.
Woo! Hells yeah.
If you're not familiar with Patreon, everyone, it is a community service platform that allows you to support your favorite creators like us to be the best we can possibly be. If you like perks such as being part of a discourse community, never before heard episodes, as well as fun quizorama stuff and being part of our show, such as the Nerd On Update, then join for $1 up to $5. And even our third tier, $8. It really does help the show. It keeps our lights on. It makes us the best that we can be. Join the Nerd On Nation at nerdon.io/Patreon.
Nice. Well done.
And that's my segue to Ali.
You can go a little slower. We're not trying to get these as short run times.
I want these to be 10-minute episodes.
Fair enough.
I want these to be short like Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Go on.
So that leaves us with talking about one of our cool affiliates.
Yeah.
If you guys, we got the Discord going on. If you want to talk comics, but you haven't read comics, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You gotta head over to Comixology and support the show by using our link.
Yeah.
Which is nerdon.io/Comixology.
A little bit of each purchase goes to keeping the lights on here as well.
And
being the best we can be.
Extra special bonus just for you guys for the holidays through the end of the year. We're going to give you $5 off your order of $15 or more.
Yep.
Use our code NERDON5.
Wow. I was really just thinking about, buying a new comic book that was like $17.99. It was like,
boom,
DC's Rebirth. And now I can buy it getting $5 off my purchase using promo code NERDON.
Yep.
Nerd
Save
on
money,
5.
support the show.
Nerd on 5.
God
Be
damn
cool.
it. Don't listen to Tom. It's Nerd on 5. You get $5 off, $15 or more.
Yeah. So check us out.
You could definitely read some Star Wars comics that way.
Yeah. There are some cool Star Wars comics out right now, by the
Darth
way.
Vader, baby.
It's all canon, too.
The Lando one's really good. Finally got around to reading that. But no, we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah, we're here to talk
about
the marquee topic.
Chapter
the
3.
Sin.
Yes.
We talked about chapters 1 and 2 last week.
Check that out if you haven't. Pause it.
Corey went over a lot of great lore. Tom, we talked about production. And we speculated on how this might kind of fold into the old Skywalker saga we got going on. So
this week,
check out that episode if you haven't already. But today we're going to stick to chapter 3.
So let's get into the dirty nitty gritty. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the episode?
This is the best one so far.
100%. I
right out the gates.
So many suspenseful moments, incredible action set pieces.
For an episode that's shorter than the pilot, it definitely to me felt more full.
Yes.
Than the pilot was. And that's, I was telling Corey on the way here, I was like, they got me now.
The thing is, it pays off a lot of the slow burn of the first and second episode, right? Without the first episode setting up what the Beskar medals were, or without the second episode setting up the vibroblade kills and the dishonorable kills and what that means in Mandalorian culture, none of that would have been half as cool as it was in this episode. So I get it. It's groundwork. You did it. It's done. But I'm glad we're in the meat of it now.
You're right.
Because this was very exciting.
We're seeing a lot of cool, we're learning more about their culture. We're learning more about, how, I don't know.
Well, I think we're actually getting a little bit more of the personality that I sorely missed. I needed from the pilot and the second episode, from Mando. I'm just going to call him Mando because everyone calls him Mando.
That's his name so far.
And I think what it did was to Corey's point of the slow burn of the first 2 episodes, it's more also they gave him a chance to kind of explain a little bit. And through a little bit of flashback, you got changing of meaning through montage. The baby is different because of a montage beforehand. The sigil means something to him because of the explanation of why he doesn't want a sigil given to him.
Right.
So there are things that Star Wars fanatics and fans, hardcore fans, much more loyal than I would understand.
Right.
But for someone that hasn't watched it before, like me, who is privy to story building and world building, I'm this doesn't mean anything to me yet.
Right.
So everyone's getting their jollies off. For me, I'm kind of you're lacking in story. And so like it's that out of world building or out of frame world building. Now it's the in frame world building.
I liked seeing.
Now we're there.
Yeah, I
Both
liked
roads
seeing
have converged.
them. Right. I liked seeing them kind of develop, like set up like consequences and kind of what that means, like for the bounty hunter to go against the guild. And we get to like see what happens.
Fuck the code.
We get some like John Wick 3 stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why fuck the code? Because the Mando's got your back.
Well, the only code that truly matters to a
is the
Mandalorian
Mandalorian.
is the Mandalorian
That
code.
was,
I think is
this is
cool.
the way.
Because if you think about it,
This is the way.
like, and that's why I liked this episode a little bit more, because it talked a little bit about social systems in that sense, where like the guild code is only as strong as like the time it is, and the Mandalorian code transcends time.
Right.
And so there is, he walks a fine line between like, if you work with the bounty hunter code, like you're also in bed with the Imperialists or the rebels, depending on whoever pays more. But the Mando code is one true be all.
Right.
Like help your fellow brother.
It doesn't matter what the fuck he did.
Yeah.
We're helping him because he's Mandalorian.
Right.
And this is the way.
This
I loved that. I loved that phrasing. This is the way. This is the way.
Before we get into it, a little bit of production on it. We're not going to do any briefs. We'll do a little bit of brief synopsis.
Little one,
but no lore.
Yeah.
Specifically, just because this is chapter 3, it's a new director, Deborah Chow, who did American Gods,
Crushed
Better Call Saul,
it.
and an Obi-Wan TV show.
This is why I'm excited.
She's leading up.
So
the
what
charge.
So she's on only one episode per those shows.
I want to say something about Deborah Chow. She killed it, first of all. Like, hands down, this was a beautiful episode.
Yeah.
But something, if you've ever talked to me about Obi-Wan and what I've wanted from not only a movie, but a TV show as well, whichever medium we're going for, I'm glad it's happening because it's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. I've always wanted it to be an espionage type of story. Because what is Obi-Wan really good at? Espionage. Sneaking around ships, listening, eavesdropping, some James Bond type
Not
shit.
training a Jedi, though.
And what did we get an entire segment of in this episode? Shot beautifully and done really well? Espionage.
The recon.
So the fact that she's helming the Obi-Wan series.
She's doing an episode. She's not show running it.
No, it says all 6 episodes. When I looked it up, she's directing all 6 episodes of the Obi-Wan
It just says
series.
she's director on IMDb, but that's all it said for me.
Please send it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone out there.
Well, either way, I mean,
what I read
gonna
is
be
she's
playing
doing
a
all
big
6
part.
episodes, and that means
It's
we're
more
getting
than just
some-
like doing one episode. She's definitely
because she's
more
slated to do 2 episodes for Mandalorian, and she's only typically historically known to do one episode per show.
I'll look it up in a little bit where I found that, but I'm excited for it, and congrats! She is the first female director to direct anything Star Wars live action.
Yeah,
finally.
Trending on Twitter.
It only took us 40 years.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it only took $65 billion. So reoccurring cast: Pedro Pascal, Carl Weathers, Werner Herzog. But I want to do a special shout out to the Armorer, played by Emily Swallow, who is in Castlevania as well as Supernatural and The Mentalist. And this episode specifically was 36 minutes versus 38.
Yep.
And then the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes went up by 1% to a 95 from a 94 last week. And that's
definitely
all
deserved it.
Yeah, that's all that production-y stuff. But a brief synopsis of the episode. We see our Mandalorian hero get back to our original location to send the asset, the baby Yoda that the internet has
Back
dubbed
to
him.
the client.
The client, played by Werner Herzog, and they quick, fast, and hurry
And Dr. Pershing
take the baby away and give the Mandalorian his Beskar armor. A ton of Beskar, apparently a lot of Beskar armor, enough to make a full bodysuit, which he ends up making.
and with some left over for the foundlings.
Yes.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And going back to his Mandalorian underground cave, he meets up with the armorer who finds all the Beskar armor, and they decide to make a full suit. He rejects making a sigil out of the Mudhorn because he said it was a dishonorable
My enemy
kill
helped me.
because the baby Yoda helped him.
I loved that line too. He didn't know he was my enemy at the time.
Yeah.
I was like,
And he gets stopped by fellow Mandalorians who are looking at the Beskar armor because it's
Played by Jon Favreau.
It's an exotic item.
yes.
It's an exotic
Very
item.
much so.
Exotic drop.
It is a historically relevant item to Mandalorians.
For those gamers out there, and he almost gets into a fight, almost kills Jon Favreau. And Jon Favreau plays the heavy gunner, heavy infantry guy, with dope looking armor.
Yeah.
And the armor is built, but during this armor building montage, we get a flashback of his childhood, seeing when the Imperial Army, the purging.
It was the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Oh, the Clone Wars.
It's during the Clone Wars.
Killed all of the Mando's family and left him into a bunker. And that's the last we see of the flashback. But it goes back to seeing the Mandalorian kind of meditate on what he should do next because he's asking questions that are unlike any other bounty hunter, wondering what the whereabouts of the baby. He goes back to Carl Weathers, his handler for the guild. And Carl Weathers is nothing but elated to see that
my favorite client or whatever, my favorite man.
Yeah, Mandalorian has bested all of the other bounty hunters in the bar,
and he's wearing that fucking armor like a boss.
What men really want to wear. And they all
hate him.
He ends up getting the next mission,
which is
far away, which is quote unquote good. And it
he's overridden with guilt.
Yeah, and he also asked Carl Weathers, "What are they going to do with the baby?" And he says, "It's not my place to ask."
It's not your place to ask either. It's against the code to ask.
And he goes on his ship and he's about to leave, and then decides an 11th hour decision to go save the baby.
Sees the knob
that Baby Yoda took off, with. Not a toy.
And goes in and whoops a lot of ass, John Wick style, Ghost Recon style, and kills a bunch of stormtroopers. I was really sad they didn't. They shot like once or twice. Did they? Okay, because I was like,
they shot a couple times.
I was like, they're gonna miss. They have to miss.
Yeah.
Because
I was like, that's kind of like good plot. And he gives mercy to Dr. Pershing and then takes the Baby Yoda away. But before he gets to his ship, he is stopped by all the bounty hunters because a hit is put on.
Well, the Empire turned the FOBs back on. Yeah, the FOBs.
The FOBs back on, and so it's just like excommunicado, John Wick style.
John Wick 3.
And on an escape to try to fight his way out of these bounty hunters, he's backed up against a corner, and lo and behold, all of the Mandalorians that were very aggressive in the beginning come to save the day in their jetpacks.
Jetpacks.
He needed.
This
like
is the
said.
way.
And in a blazing glory, a la Iron Man 3, and they
compare it to that.
They make a way.
Don't compare it to that.
Saving a baby. If this Christmas, I'll find out. Yeah, we have the Yule time. And then he gets into his ship and flies away. While he's flying away, the heavy gunner is flying on a jetpack away with him.
He forgot that he is confronted once again by Carl Weathers.
Right. And then he shoots him, and then he actually doesn't kill him. The Beskar armor, you know what protects him. So
that he
might come
foreshadowed
back.
Earlier in the episode.
That keeps close to his chest. And flies away, and then gives the little ball thingy to Baby Yoda again. And then we end.
And the galaxy is our oyster? Where's he going to go next?
Now Mon Calamari.
We don't know where he's going. He might not be doing that anymore. Because now he's got
to go somewhere.
That was like self-medication. Like, I just need something to forget, man. Yeah. I just need a bounty. This was a great episode. This moved really well. I thought Deborah did a really good job of showing how the Mandalorian felt, even though we never see his face. I thought her framing was really well done.
The way, at least, she allowed montage to work in a way where, like, the scene, using standard Kuleshov effect, like two frames, the first one gives better meaning to the second.
Well,
one.
Not even the montage bit. I'm just saying, like, within his own actions, sitting in the ship alone and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, considering in him
what he's doing. Yeah,
yeah.
The close up reaching for the knob and stuff like that. I just thought she did a really, really good job of show don't tell, which is hard to do when you can't see the actor's eyes or face, or use words.
That knob has different meaning because of the first shot. It's great use of like what Christopher Nolan does, actually, circular motifs. And she uses that all around, like the Beskar armor coming back at the very end,
which is also writing as well. I want to give credit where credit's due as well. But she was able to tell that story visually very, very well.
Yeah. Which is the struggle with this particular series, since he is confronted with a lot of like emotional, personal decisions.
Here's a fun
convey
fact.
That through.
This is a fun fact. A little Easter egg for the folks like me. So the canister that the Beskar is in, that Werner Herzog puts on, is actually a reference to Empire Strikes Back. It's known in the Star Wars community as the ice cream maker. In Empire Strikes Back, there's a guy running around in the background when Cloud City's being attacked, and he's holding, it's an old ice cream maker, but they repurposed it as some prop, and it's never had a purpose. It's just been this like in joke with the Star Wars community. So they've purposefully put it in this episode to give this thing that's been running on for like 40 years a purpose.
A purpose.
So now we know what it actually does. It's
So-
a container.
So
for
now we
things.
need to see some imperialists with their little fucking Mentos like badges on their their suits.
So if you guys go home and Google, though you at home Google Star Wars
Ice cream.
maker, you'll see
okay.
you'll
There
see
you
what
go.
it is.
Nice.
And so now it has a purpose, which I was really
Awesome.
excited to see. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. That is a deep fucking cut.
Yeah,
well
it
done.
is.
Well done.
I did again. It is a bit of the circular motifs, but even going back to the first 2 episodes with the sigil,
Yeah.
and she says
Yeah.
like, "You'll earn one. You'll find your sigil later," and he rejects his sigil, and so like just within the context for someone like me who hasn't done all the research to like look up what Mandalorian everything, all
What
that
they
stuff.
believe and
Like just the emphasis they put on the sigil and how he he rejects it, and it sounds like it's something that's definitely important to the character, and for the fact that it's not something that he easily wants to just have
yeah.
to bear that I've slain the Mudhorn, blah blah. But it's
Right.
like no, like I want to earn it, and
It's
to
a warrior culture.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have big, I have big prediction
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
that end of the season, somehow the Mandalorians are going to be like, you got to kill the baby, and it's a Jedi, blah blah, and then his sigil is going to be of the Yoda thing,
Mm,
of the Yoda's race, but he never kills the baby
yeah.
because it's going to be a secret.
I doubt that. See, like the Mandalorians
Ah.
don't hate the Jedi either.
Right.
They did fight them
Well,
for quite a long time.
If you think about it like a survivor race, they just have to look out for the best
Yeah.
for them, and like
Yeah.
if the Jedi are in their way, then the Jedi are in their
right.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
He might be helping them find
I
the
really
new-
did love that though, like you said, where he's like, no, it's not an honorable kill, because it goes back into, well, like you said, for people like my wife especially, who's not someone who knows any of this kind of stuff. It gives you an idea of what their culture is about, especially a group of peoples who are not race specific, but culturally specific. Like you
Mhm.
are a Mandalorian if you follow the Mandalorian code and you live by Mandalore. That's all it takes. You can be anyone.
Yeah.
So that moment there was just kind of one of those moments where they're like, here's a peek into how much war and fighting and honor means to these people as a whole.
Well, it's
And then Jon Favreau trying to take his mask off as like an insult
Mhm.
was a huge moment for me. I was like, oh my god, like just straight up reaches under his helmet.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of telling you, even just in that one scene, a lot about who they are.
it got a little muddy for me at that point because I didn't know if he was trying to pick him up versus like try to take off his helmet.
Until she asked.
Yeah, and then like because I kind of think of it like Shanghai Noon,
Mhm.
where Jackie Chan has the fucking long
Ponytail.
Oh,
ponytail,
that's right.
and
Yeah.
it's like, what if we cut that off? And then like there's a big emphasis on it. And in this sense, I think it's really cool that like we've seen, and so we talked about in our first episode, we've seen Spartans, we've seen Saiyans, we've seen other I guess nomadic warrior race fictional things. But this is the first time we're seeing that kind of fully embodied in a Star Wars skin.
Yeah.
Because so far we've only seen like normies and then
Yeah.
Jedi and then Sith.
And then Django and Boba, who aren't really
Well, to
Mandalorians.
me, honestly, like again, Boba Fett highly overrated. At least cinematically,
Cinematically, yes.
cinematically highly overrated.
And until then they got rid of the expanded universe, so still technically overrated.
Yeah,
The
Jango
books were
Fett.
fucking
Jango Fett
amazing.
like was way cooler on screen than Boba Fett ever was on screen.
Mhm.
But
They
Boba
both-
Fett has been around a lot longer than Jango Fett ever was.
But
So
they both sucked at picking out good jetpacks.
Yes, that's true.
I realized that too today. And I was
I
like,
thought that
I
was
think
going to
they
be one of the
both-
reasons
I was
the
like, did they
Mandalorian
not both die from jetpack related incidents? And yes, they did.
Django didn't.
Django did.
he just flew straight to
He-
Mace Windu's lightsaber.
No. So he was trying to get away. If you look carefully, there's sparks on his jetpack.
Oh my
That come
God.
out of a jetpack, and
I'm
he
going to
can't get
rewatch
away.
that, and then he cuts his head off.
I was gonna say, well,
I thought they were going to play into that though. That's why he doesn't have one.
Well,
Mhm.
it'd be really cool if they did in the future of this show, because to me, in the bigger scope of Jango and Boba Fett, they both suck in the heat of battle. 1-to-1 fight, great.
Yeah,
Heat of battle, fucking suck.
too many distractions. And now we know this guy, heat of battle, fucking great,
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
I don't know. He got a bunch of Jawas who whooped his ass.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
whole different situation.
Gets to-
But
gets
he
to
also
use
took
his-
out a bunch of them.
I mean, on that new Elon Cybertruck.
Yeah.
The whistling birds. Had to get rid of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
the singing
Use that.
birds.
Singing birds.
Singing birds?
Were awesome. I loved that shot. Got to do it in the wide because it was
Mhm.
beautiful. I mean, I did call it with my wife. I was like, here come the singing birds. I wasn't mad about it.
No.
Because it was dope as shit to watch. It was very Iron Man.
It was cool to see him get loaded in. I was like, oh, those
Oh,
are going
yeah.
to be cool.
Yeah. I've been glad that there's been no like Chekhov's gun kind of thing which is it's a theater term. It means like when you show a gun on stage, you have to use it because
Oh, I
otherwise
see.
the audience will technically be thinking about it the whole time.
What is
It's-
Chekhov's
right.
gun? Do they actually
Chekhov is a playwright,
And did he
and
never
one of
use
his
it?
theories was that like I could
if
be
you
getting
have
this
a gun in
totally
the
back.
first scene, you have
You
to show
use
it in
it
the third.
by the end of the show,
Yeah,
essentially. And
Well,
so
that's good.
they've done that. Everything that they've shown, that it's become very important,
Mhm.
especially in this episode. Like you said, the circular motifs,
Mhm.
showing something at the very beginning of the episode, and then by the end being like, oh, fuck, that's right.
Yeah.
It made it feel like some of these moments, it wasn't a very like Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. Like if Carl Weathers had never been like, I'm rich too, and then I saw that happen, I
Mhm.
would have been like, it's bullshit, man. Why?
Yeah.
Why would he keep it there?
And that's actually like the point of like good mysteries.
Mhm.
You know, like Saw is like notoriously known for like being a terrible mystery movie.
Really?
Because they just regurgitate all the shots that you've already seen, and then they put some stuff like they never showed you.
Oh,
You're
like the other angle.
You're like, motherfucker, how was I supposed to know?
Yeah, they're like, what you didn't see out of frame was that his eyes were open and he was alive.
But
And
Harry
like, oh.
Potter is really good at mysteries because it shows scenes that like, oh, just like if you looked in the proper place, then you would have seen like the actual thing, but your eyes were focused on something else.
Right. Oh yeah, especially for where she has the time turner. I think you can like see her hand in scenes and stuff like that.
And then in the first one,
Yeah,
Sorcerer's Stone, Quirrell.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, this definitely like in a sense like, oh, if you're paying attention, everything's gonna come back, which I thought was great. Like to me, like again, it made it feel a lot more purposeful. Like it wasn't kind of always, hey, here's something new, meditate on it, which I'm like totally fine. And it's just a different medium that I like typically am more like prone to of filmmaking. Like, you know, with the movie, it's like all, you know, one arc. And like with TV, it's kind of like some things may not pay off until 4 episodes later, which sometimes you're like, well, I want to see it now. So.
Here's also my question. On top of this, just character wise, Dr. Pershing, good guy?
What was he? Yeah, what was going on there?
Because he definitely, when Mandalorian comes in, he's definitely talking about like protecting the baby. He's like, please don't do anything.
The client is
And then he realizes that he's
gone?
not here to kill the baby.
right.
And then he was like, yeah, he's alive because of me. Otherwise, he would have been dead. Are we
What's gonna
do you think
happen
we're going
is
to
that
see him come back?
The client's going to come in at the to last episode, and then he's going to have Pershing there, and he's like, by my calculations, the life form's here. And then it's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything, and kills the client. They're going to be hit the bell. It's like, I only could have done blah, blah, blah. This is the best thing for the baby. We got to do this. And then he gets killed in a way trying to save the baby. The Mandalorian's like, I'll avenge you, and then walk away.
Well, don't sound too excited.
Yeah.
Ollie, why don't you
happy
answer
about that?
Because I don't know what the fuck
Do you
that
want
was.
that to come true or
I have no
or
idea what that was.
Yeah,
I don't know what you just
I
said.
mean, if he's alive, then I mean, and also Werner Herzog's
My
not
question
in
just
it.
is he going to be a good guy? That's my
For sure.
my question.
I think he will continue to help, although I'm curious. So like the client was in the building the whole time, or where was he?
We don't know because we
Was
just
he
got
off
that
world?
little
You
staticky.
can't guarantee your safety.
Right.
We just got that little staticky thing when he was like eavesdropping.
But if he's a good
The
guy,
Predator volume.
who reported to the Bounty Guild or whatever?
Well, probably one
the client.
Well,
the-
Werner Herzog, I'm sure. Yeah.
So
the client.
So you think like how did the client find out? Is kind of is my
I
question.
mean,
to
if someone broke
your
into my
question.
place and killed a bunch of my friends,
I'm sure someone.
Who would tell you?
I bet you anything.
Pershing probably.
I bet you
Okay.
anything that little droid had a camera on it. The little torture droid from
Mm,
New Hope. A, either had a camera on it, or B, he was already nervous when he broke in. Like he was
Yeah.
like, please don't. I'm sure he gave out a call that like something happened.
No, Pershing had to because Werner Herzog had something on him.
I think
Yeah.
we'll find out
He said like, I can't guarantee your safety.
sooner than later.
And so it's like definitely. And I mean, as we were watching this, we know this is 5 years after the Return of the Jedi. We know Palpatine's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it could definitely be Palpatine.
Well, probably not because he's in some sort of like if he stayed hidden pretty well. He's probably pretty fucked up at this point in some sort of recovery. Like, are you talking about because of the new movie coming out?
Yeah.
Because if you watch the trailer, if we were to believe that's him, he's in some sort of like floating Professor X type
then he's
chair.
force
Yeah.
projecting a version of him out to
Yeah,
Varna.
I hope nothing
I hope not. But
happens with Palpatine in this.
I'm just saying, somehow, some way, they were able to be like,
I'm
there's
much more
Palpatine again.
I'm much more interested in Gus from Breaking Bad. Is in this?
Oh, Gus Fring, yeah.
yeah,
He,
Lasso Ramos to check.
yeah, he's in this. I think
the
he
spoilers.
might be either. I think he's going to be the guy who's in charge of all this.
Well, like in one thing that I really liked in Solo was that the main villain was Paul Bettany's character, but he answered to Maul.
Right.
Spoilers, everyone. But like at that point, it was kind of like, cool. The main antagonist isn't really like connected until the very end.
Right.
So like again, if Werner is like connected, what if he's connected to Snoke?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's true.
That would
I'd
make
be
me
more interested in
actually
that.
care.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Snoke didn't go out like a little bitch.
Yeah, that would actually make.
Well,
I would be fine with that because not the one thing I was disappointed with The Last Jedi. One of the things I was disappointed with The Last Jedi was that like I thought, especially hiring someone like Andy Serkis to play him.
Well, the fact that like he was introduced as the big bad like so early, like we didn't even see Sidious until Empire, right?
Darth
No,
Sidious?
he was
We see him in
in-
the first.
He was in the first one.
He was in the first one.
Yeah,
I
it's
barely
a
remember.
projection.
Yeah, it's a projection.
Yeah.
But like Snoke, we got to see like
we don't see the
a
full
fucking
body.
giant thing.
It was just
Well,
his
it was
It
also
was
a
a
projection.
projection of it,
Yeah.
but it was like a big ass.
It was a big one, yeah.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is dope.
It was subverting the audience. He thought
The only time we see
Palpatine.
Palpatine in the
guy
New
at
Hope
the
is
beginning.
a giant floating head.
But anyways, back to Mandalorian. Go yes, Ollie?
So back to the client
Yes.
in this whole situation. I think we're gonna find out. Like, I think they're gonna keep going next episode. I think we'll just see the client's reaction or whatever. As far as where it's going though, like,
He has to meet Gina Carano somewhere.
right?
Who I think is
that
super
less
dope.
angry Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah.
What do you think they're planning?
I thought it was lesbian Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
From everyone
the
at home,
bloopers.
we're quoting
Deadpool
Ryan
bloopers.
Reynolds, and she punches him.
But what do you think they're doing?
What do you mean?
The client.
Oh, with the Yoda?
With the baby?
Yeah.
With the baby Yoda?
So they want to extract something from it and not worry about it being alive.
So there's
still.
a few theories. I don't want to spoil too much because this boy's watching Rebels
Immediately,
right now.
I was like,
But
are
there's some
you-
theories I have.
I jokingly-
it's my fault for being
I was
late.
joking like, are you jokingly thinking, are you gonna like extract
Well,
midichlorians?
Do you
Or,
want to
like-
know my theory?
Go ahead.
There's a couple theories I've read online, and this is the one that I thought of that a few other people have like
And for everyone,
got to before I did, way before I did.
for everyone at home, Star Wars Rebels is an animated show. You can watch it on Disney Plus if you're watching Mandalorian, and it takes place shortly after the events of Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. So spoilers for Rebels, y'all. It's a minor one, but I'm going to throw it out there. The Empire, essentially, I'll try to be vague too. Well, I won't use character names. The Empire
Mhm.
uses force-sensitive younglings to navigate their hyperdrive into unknown space. And eventually, because of this,
Oh.
basically draining their force power, they can't use the force anymore. So there's a theory floating around out there that they wanted to extract the midichlorians to give to the kids who they're basically using as hyperdrive engines to continue their
So they're using
search of unknown
they're
space.
using batteries.
Yeah.
That's weird because it's like sadly everyone we use a Matrix reference. So force sensitive kids are a battery for a hyperdrive.
Yeah.
So they're going to use a force another.
They're a
person-
navigation system, essentially. Yeah.
So they're using the
the
Minority
Yoda's the
Report.
batteries.
Huh?
The Yoda is the battery.
But
for
then they
the-
would want to take someone else. Oh, so you're saying okay? Because I thought you were going to say like using Yoda to replenish another kid. I'm like, that's dumb. Just replace the kid with Yoda.
No, that's
Well,
the
it could-
thing.
okay.
That's the
It
thing.
could
They
be-
do want to use the Yoda to like
because they want to extract something from the Yoda.
because
we know that
they
much.
have so many midichlorians in them. What they want to do is extract and like disperse those midichlorians.
There's
through all the
literally,
ships.
there's literally
And plus-
a giant syringe going towards the Yoda.
And
Yeah.
plus, his race is known to be more
that we know of so
highly
far.
cl-
Yeah.
No, so far, yeah.
known to be like very connected to the.
The only
Force.
two that we know of are connected to the Force, and
Yeah,
now
three.
the three that we know.
Well,
are
we know
connected.
3. If you
We know
remember
3.
correctly,
Right.
there was Yoda, Yaddle, and Vandar
Also,
from
yeah, I
Knights
meant-
of the
I meant,
Republic.
like,
This is the 4th one.
up until this show too,
Yes.
and then
And
the
everyone at
third.
home, when I was saying that imaginary fifth one that I was talking
You
about,
find it?
I found it on Wii.
Yeah.
It's green.
It's green.
That creature that you showed me.
Oh, that I did.
Yeah, so
it's not a Yoda.
it's
It's,
not-
it's a pod racing. It's the
it's-
like pod
but
racing guy.
Oh.
so like there's a character in Force Unleashed that has like these metal attachments, and you fight it, and it's one of the bosses you fight.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, that's like a Yoda thing. And it's like a swamp and everything. They made it look exactly like it would be like a Yoda character in the Wii version, and that's the one I played. In the
Oh,
PlayStation
weird.
version, it's blue, and you fight it on like an aircraft like launch pad.
George Lucas probably
This
made
thing.
him change it.
It's this little
Yeah.
inch guy. But he's green in the Wii? Really?
Yeah, it's green, and
They
he
probably made him change it.
Wow.
and you fight him in a swamp.
Wow.
Interesting. You found it though?
Yep, because I was like Wii version. Then I was like, golly,
There it is.
golly.
So that's a theory that's floating around. It's pretty complicated. It's pretty convoluted as a theory.
I don't want to. Sadly, I still like. I appreciate all they're doing to break away from the saga, but I I don't give him enough credit to go that far into that foreign of a concept.
I would say this. I would
From
say
the
this.
core Star Wars.
And so, like, going back to my first critique of the first episode of, like, I felt like they just leaned so hard into their own stories versus, like, trying to do something new. I am optimistic that they will try to go far out. Because
Me too.
I would hate for them to crutch on and just be like, we're using him to revive the Emperor.
Right, like-
God.
No. God, please no.
You know
I
what
don't think
I
there'll be
mean?
anything like
Yeah.
that. I think there's a spectrum.
Yeah.
I think they'll be leaning towards what we want, but I don't know if they'll go that. Like, I would be amazing.
There's also a lot of theories
like-
about trying to resurrect the clone project and cloning a bunch of little baby Yodas.
Well, I guess the better question is, do you think this whole client situation and obviously, but like, do you think it's going to be the arc of the show? Like,
I think it's going to be
This season.
or it just kicks it off.
I think it's going to be like a Team Rocket background thing that's going to happen. And like, what's more likely going to happen to this character is that he's going to go off and try to find something else he could do to kind of like, one, because this kind of, to me, I felt like actually this could have been the pilot.
No.
Because one, he outed the Mandalorians. Two, he's on the run from the Guild.
Mhm.
And three, he's on the run from the Imperialists now. And then four, he has to figure out what he's going to do with his baby. And so, like, there's so many things that it threw at you that you're like, is it going to be a father-son thing? Is this going to be a run from my friends thing? Is this going to be a
Right.
run from an organization that I really didn't know much about?
Right.
Or is this going to be a run from the Empire thing?
Or
right?
it's gonna, like run while investigating what this Yoda
Yeah, and
thing is.
and
Yeah.
we've stacked so many things against him, which is great. I think, you know, somewhere maybe 2 episodes they might dedicate to like, hey, the Mandalorians have a new home.
Yeah.
Let's learn a little bit more about the Mandalorians.
This
But a
is
lot
the
of it's
way.
going to be about like him and this child, and he has to figure out what's going on with this child, and it's going to lead him like, you have to go check out this person, and then goes that place, and then, oh, you're a Mandalorian, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I knew one, da, da, da. So we now learn more about the Mandalorians. And then here come the Imperialists. And then the next episode's like, here, now we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the Mandalorians. And then here comes the Guild. And then by the final episode,
And the cliffhanger to get you interested in episode season 2 is that he's going to take off his helmet. You hear the and then
ends.
dun, ba-dun, da-dun, 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 da-dun.
be perfect.
Yeah, something like that. Or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I mean, I think at the very end, like, you have to do this very big stake of like, he has to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's like, am I going to kill this baby or not?
Yeah.
But do you want to do, so for the episode, since Mandalorian, he's the main character, you want to do like the hero of the episode, like a favorite character for this episode?
Favorite character for this episode
Yeah.
specifically? I was really excited. This isn't my favorite character, but I was excited to see a Zabrak as one of the bounty hunters. It's Darth
one was that?
Maul's race.
Oh, yeah.
He has the horns in his head, so they only get the red and black when they go to the dark side.
Oh,
So to just see one out and about was really exciting for me.
because it's
The
paint, isn't it?
Maul's or Count Dooku's Count Dooku's other apprentice was yellow.
Was it Zabrak?
Savage.
Oh, I'm talking about Old Republic.
Oh, gotcha.
It naturally happens in the Old Republic when you turn your guy better.
Oh,
to
okay.
the dark
Ollie,
I
side.
didn't realize.
Ollie, when you start watching Clone Wars, you'll
Yeah.
see more of Darth Maul's like race, and like most of them are yellow, and then like the other side of it are the women, and those are like called witches, and that's where like Asajj Ventress people come from. It's pretty dope. But they have like as Yoda is to the light side of the Force, they are to the dark side of the Force. It's kind of
Got
fucking
it.
dope.
That is pretty dope.
It's awesome.
But so that dude,
That was really exciting to see. Just
Okay.
like a plain
Yeah.
clothes Zabrak was like, I was like, oh damn. And we got to see a Twi'lek in this episode too, and they mentioned the Twi'lek bathhouses, which is like
I
a
noticed that.
brothel for sure.
Ollie,
Hero-
favorite character for the episode?
Man, did he have a name in this?
Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say I got huge Halo Reach vibes out of that shit.
Yeah.
Him just like
Huge
landing
Halo
with his minigun.
He looked like the main guy from Halo Reach.
that
The
was
big
sick.
Well, like his
George.
his main helmet.
Oh yeah.
The main guy's helmet, at least,
As
so it's
your-
very square.
George in Halo Reach is the big guy
Bigger,
with the
yeah.
minigun. And I was
Yeah.
like, George.
Also, I mean, I kind of feel like it was Mini Yoda again
Mm.
because
Mini Yoda's good. My
Like-
favorite
So
is
cute.
one thing that I really liked about this episode is
Yeah.
that it felt like a little classic Star Wars in the sense that it's from a unexpected perspective
yeah.
of like the camera kind of followed the baby Yoda more especially like in the beginning of the
Where
episode,
he's
as he
seeing
was
the
taking
world
things
from
in.
his
Oh,
perspective.
when he was
Right.
like easy with that, I was like, oh, he cares. He cares
Yeah.
so much. Besides, I mean, like a real character in this episode is the Smith. I think that
the armor.
the armor is
Yeah,
a dope fucking
she's-
character. This
she's
is the
pretty
way.
good.
She keeps using the armor terms like Poldrin, curious, and I'm like,
It's
are
all
you
these RPGs coming back
like,
to me.
Are you trying to get me to?
Dude, I'm telling you, if they
Like,
came out with the
Play World of Warcraft again?
You're right. Yeah.
dude, I would totally get a game based off this show.
Oh, 100%. They
Oh,
need
yeah.
to bring 1313 back.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what they need. What about you, Tom?
Armor.
Armor?
Armor is for sure my favorite character.
She's dope. Her helmet's cool as
She's
fuck.
cool, but also like it's weird because like in typical sense, you never expect the armor or the weapons master to be like someone of high authority.
Right.
Mhm.
They're
But
usually typically on the side, but then in a Mandalorian religion,
yeah.
that's everything. That's
Or
your life.
Your rifle is your religion.
Like
you know,
how
weapons are my
we in
religion.
America
armor
give
is
a
a
shit
part of you.
about the banks all the time.
yeah.
So it's
armor
like
is a huge part.
That's who they look up to.
Yeah, so- well, then she's kind of like the constable, the chaplain of the entire race, the race of people. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
the race of people of the Mandalorians, where it's like she's the one that upholds the standard
I wonder if, because they haven't explained who is yet, I wonder if she's the Mandalore.
for them right now.
For
Yeah,
the
current Mandalore?
because they're supposed
Yeah.
to be one.
You know what? Because it's just that group.
Yeah.
I think so. And they have to move now.
yeah.
So that'll be.
Or I wonder if they still are in contact with a bigger group.
I was
going
gonna
to
say
and there's a Mandalore.
that would be really really cool if we like get.
Because there can only be one Mandalore.
We've all watched Avatar Airbender.
Yes.
Mhm.
It'd be really cool if we got a General Iroh, kind of
Yeah.
like this was the last true Mandalore, and he's like been in hiding by himself the entire time.
That'd be sick.
Or
I'm
she.
interested. Yeah.
Would be
Or,
fucking
yeah, I mean,
great.
'Cause there could be a she.
that would be the case. if
There
there's
can be a
another
she
group.
Mandalore.
Yeah.
I was also really excited, and this is again shout out to them deep cuts. Someone who played Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 a lot. Vibroblades are what you start out with before
Yeah,
you get it.
it was cool.
The vibro daggers.
Because I was like, why are those like vibrating?
I didn't notice it in episode 2 when he was holding it.
I
for
didn't
the,
either.
The
It wasn't that. That's why.
is a different
It's
weapon.
a different weapon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna
yeah,
go back and watch it.
They were
They
vibrating.
did a previously on it. You could totally see he's not.
I didn't. I
and I was like,
look
why?
even.
Because you don't always think in full words.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, why
Why?
are they doing that? And I was like, they're are these are these
Vibroblades for the first time on
for the
screen?
first time on screen?
And they looked dope. I was
They
so
looked
happy
awesome.
about that. So shout out to them for killing it on that because that's exactly how I always.
I feel
thought
a
they
little
would
bit
look.
cooler now having that at the beginning of the game and not as
Yeah,
crappy.
100%. Because it's like it's your starter weapon in the game before you can build a lightsaber.
Yeah,
And
It's
you're
your
just
dagger in RuneScape.
and
Right, yeah.
your Wookiee uses it all the time. Like he kills with that thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was really they
was
did
cool
that
to see.
really well. I'm really impressed with that. And I just got like their use of the grappling in this episode also, how many times he used it to
That
like
was
pull
cool.
things
He
aside,
pulled the stormtrooper back towards him.
to stab him with his
Yeah.
vibroblade, but then also using it to like turn on the
Oh wait, yeah,
what's it called that he put Han Solo in? Carbonite.
carbonite
Oh,
thing.
The carbonite freezer
Mhm.
was really cool as well. So shout out
Yeah.
to all that.
Um,
I'm stoked. I'm excited for the next
Yeah.
episode. I'm hooked, man. I'm
Yeah.
so hooked on
any
this show.
any qualms?
In this episode specifically, no. I don't think I have any.
I
No.
can't think of
don't-
anything.
I
right
actually
off
don't
the
think I
bat.
have any either.
I thought for a minute, I was like, how do the Mandalorians know he's in trouble? And then
Oh.
I remembered I don't give a fuck.
oh, it's not.
Because it was cool.
It's not a qualm. It's more of like a. It's the same feeling I had when I saw Ben Affleck in his armored Batman suit. I was like, Mando moves a little slow, baby.
Oh,
and I
there's-
was like, I get it
I
because
have
he's
one.
in full armor and it's probably.
But then
none
he
of it's
didn't. When he
CGI.
like turned and then whipped into the back of that truck,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he can move.
He can move, which I thought was cool. But I was like, sometimes I was like, okay, I get it, Terminator, like
Yeah.
fucking slow blow.
That reveal of his armor was sexy.
Now I'm trying to think. Have there been salutes in Star
Salutes.
Wars? Saluting someone?
The Empire.
The Empire
Was
only.
there?
There was
Okay.
between the Imperial, like the actual officers, and then also with like stormtroopers.
His salute
Yeah.
at the end was a little slightly cheeseball. Like ever so slight.
The Mandalorians.
Yeah.
I didn't. When he's to the jetpack guy.
Yeah. Where he's flying alongside him and then he kind of does this and then kind of flies away.
Well, Disney has a history of being in bed with the military, so that's the thing.
That's fine. Like a nod would have been because like
Harder
they had
to see.
They had some shit.
It would have been hard to see.
That's true.
Also, I would say
You
this.
got to have some
But a
sort of
helmet
movement.
tilt.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you can either get that or you get like Val Kilmer Batman, where he gives a thumbs up to Commissioner
No.
It
Carl.
felt yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It wasn't quite
I
that,
think
but it
the
was- it
hand
was just
signal
the
is
one
good
thing.
because it's a little bit more formal. Because they're not friends.
No.
They highly respect
They
each
almost
other.
stabbed each other.
Yeah, but then
Like
like
10 minutes
and then
ago.
a little bit of a, it's like a little head nod. It's like, bitch, I saved your life.
Fair. Okay.
So
yeah, I don't think I have any.
The stretch to even come up with that.
Yeah, my main thing is like he moves a little slow just during certain parts, but that's just like not even like a qualm. It's more like I noticed that shit. But no, this is a really solid episode.
Like Deborah, you killed it. I am so honored to have you take on Obi-Wan. It is all 6. She's doing all 6. And I'm so excited about that.
That's crazy.
She's killing it. Like, this was by far visually, like, Jon Favreau, you got chops, but Deborah killed this shit.
Well, again, Favreau is really good at, like, kind of conveying a story, but I would say, like, directing is not his strongest point that he can do. Like, let someone that, I mean, Deborah Chow may not be able to write as well as Jon Favreau.
I was going to say, shout out to Jon for writing this, too, because this was a great episode.
All the episodes are written by him except one.
Yeah. Deborah, killing it. Shout out.
But yeah, let us know what you think.
42 years of male directors in Star Wars. You did
Finally.
it.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know what you think of this show.
Yeah, give us a rating. Give us a shout out.
Yeah, let us know.
Correct us on anything we've gotten wrong, because I'm sure we did.
Absolutely.
Tell us your favorite parts.
We just love this stuff, man.
Tell us your favorite parts, and also what color of your best car armor would you have?
Yeah, check out. That's a good one.
That's next week. We'll get into that. Write that down. We'll come with some designs.
But yeah, check us out. Check us everything out about Nerd On over at nerdon.tv.
Yeah.
But until next time, you know the drill. As always,
Nerd On.
Ending broadcast.